All right, who that nation? Welcome to the WDN Chatline podcast. It's the host CB, and I'm here with my co-host, the MOD Uptown. Uptown, what it do, fam?
Was good, was good with it, was good with it. Yeah, all that good stuff, man. Plenty to talk about tonight.
Who that nation, man? I'm glad you guys is able to tune in tonight. I know it's been a week since the draft, but the draft, man, it's gonna be fresh. From the draft day all the way until game time. So the excitement's still there. We can still, talk about, how we feel about all the draft picks. And that's what we're gonna do tonight. Tonight's show is gonna consist of us recapping who the Saints put that black and gold on, and then we can chirp on some moves that was made as well as one during the draft that allowed us to, get a pick during the draft. And then if we got time, we can open up the phone lines and you guys can give your thoughts and opinions on, how y'all feel about every pick or the first pick, whatever pick you want to talk about. But that's how tonight's show is going to consist. Let me get to the comments right quick, and then we can go ahead and get started. Shout out to my guy J Live 504.
Man, J Live is my dog, bro. What's up, J Live?
Yeah, J
That's
Live,
my
man.
dog, man. What's up? What's up, too? What's up, Junior? What's up, Junior? What's good with you?
Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all been rocking for a minute. J Live, I remember a while back, man. You start kicking it with your boy, man. So shout out to both of y'all, man.
Yeah,
Welcome.
that's my dog, man. That's my dog right there. Good to see him around, man. Good to see you around, bro. You heard me? If we open up the lines, man, we want you to chirp in, bro. You dig? If we open up the lines, I want to you. I never say this. CB know I never say that. You understand what I'm saying? But if we open up the lines, I want to hear from you, bro. You dig? But let's get down to business, CB.
Facts. Okay, well we're gonna go ahead and get started.
We got Mac Mooses. We got my man Hurricane Mike just came in too. You dig? Shouts out to y'all.
Shout out to Hurricane Mike. Hurricane Mike called it. He said he felt like we was gonna, get the pick we about to talk about. And we got it. Shout out to Hurricane Mike. Want to hear your opinion because you definitely called the pick.
What is that? Oh, that's somebody, man, trying to. I guess he's soliciting for something. I don't know, man. We talking about Saints football here. You
Right,
understand?
right.
That's it, bro. But you can continue on, CB. Yeah, don't forget that dude there.
Okay, but let's just go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and start with the first pick of the NFL draft. At pick 8, the New Orleans selected Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson. So MOD, I'm gonna start with you, man. Go ahead and give your thoughts and opinions on Jordan Tyson.
Now, I'm not going to sit down here in front and be, like a hypocrite or something like that. Initially, I was disappointed in the pick. You heard me? Especially when Caleb Downs was sitting there. And, you and I talked about, our desire to have Caleb Downs. But since they made this pick, and I see a vision has been, made clear as to what this pick pertains to, and also what we have been doing in free agency. So now I know I'm not so. Let me tell you something, right? If Jordan Tyson just had a free and clear, history and stuff, his history with injuries was just free and clear, I would feel absolutely 100% about this because, in actuality, he was the best wide receiver in his draft. The only thing that hurt his stock was, his injury, history. And then I think that the Titans, I think that was a bit of a reach, to go get Cornell Tate. Because I'm just going to be honest, man. When you see this kid play, CB, this kid is special, man. You know how somebody just got that it, whatever it is. He got that. He got that. You understand? And I'm expecting him to really impress Saints fans. Now that I see the clear picture. But just to be clear, to let everybody know out there, the Who Dat Nation, I wanted Caleb down. I'm not ashamed to say that. And I think the Dallas Cowboys got them a heck of a damn football player.
Facts. And I want to read his numbers for the 2025 season. He had 61 receptions for 711 yards, 8 touchdowns. He only played in 9 games. College ball, I think, how many games did Arizona play? About 12?
Yeah, about 12, something like that.
Yeah, 12. So I think this season, it was a collarbone, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or the hamstring.
This season it was the hamstring this season.
Okay, the hamstring.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was a little bit shocked by the pick. And like I said, you guys seen when I came on and gave my little thoughts. I wanted to chirp on it just for a quick 2 minutes, but when you put on the tape, you can see clearly that this guy is a top draft pick, but the only concern is just his health. And I was watching Steve Smith break down Jordan Tyson, and he said he got all the intangibles, but his only issue is being available to play. So you can have all this talent. We done been through that before. You can have all the talent stuff and this and that, but if you're not able to touch the field, what good is that talent gonna do for you? And we seen that in the latter years of Michael Thomas. I still think Michael Thomas could have provided some good things for us, but he was hurt, right? The ankle injury, the injury started catching up to him. So regardless of how talented this guy is, if this guy cannot stay healthy, if he can't get his health under control, he said he gonna do this and that, I'm pretty sure the Saints got a game plan, to attack the injuries. Now we know, given history on when it comes to Saints and the medical team and stuff, it ain't really, we really don't have a good history at that, just to be honest. I've seen guys where they get their own, medical crew and stuff like that. They don't trust the Saints' opinions like that. Now, it has been some changes in the staff and stuff, but I just hope they got a good game plan and they execute. Because if it does execute, if the guy is out there, he is going to make an impact day one. You add that with Olave, it's going to be instant impact. Now, is he going to come out there day one putting up, Pro Bowl numbers? I'm going to say I'm not sure, but, the tape clearly shows that, he's capable. He definitely had the talent to eat like that. So
I wouldn't put it. I put it like this, right? I would not be shocked if he did.
Right. Correct.
Let me put it like that.
Right.
Let me say this too, right? Okay. Now we dwelled on. I think we talked about the negatives and stuff with this kid, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the positives with this kid right here. Like, this kid is a dog. I mean, an absolute goddamn, pit bull.
Yes.
You understand? I mean, you just put it in his radius, and he going to get it. They didn't comp him with people like they comped him with Justin Jefferson.
Facts.
Let's think about that for a minute. What if this kid turns out to be, just that good? That'd be something else to have. I mean, we haven't had that like in a while, like that, That scary wide receiver.
I agree. I agree. All the intangibles is there. So, like I said, I think his only issue, he gotta stay healthy. He gotta be able to stay on the field. If not, none of that talent and stuff is gonna mean nothing. So he has to be able to stay on the field. That's the bottom line. And if he can do that, we should be seeing a lot of production from this guy. A lot.
I agree. Along with, Tyler Shook and the rest of them, boy, man, they putting together something. Now I see the vision now. You see? Now who we go to next? Well, we go to second round. Who's the second round?
Yeah,
let's talk more about Jordan Tyson, y'all, in the future. We just got to hit and miss.
Right. I see we got 2 comments on him. We got State Bite said this was a boom or bust pick. If he can stay healthy, his game can be huge. That's the right. That's the only thing that I kind of like. Should we be picking a boomer? But is we in that position to pick a risky pick at 8? But
let me say 2, right? Let me cap this off 2, right? With all that we done went through, with players and stuff being injured and stuff, even coming out of college, I would hope that Mickey did his due diligence this time.
Yes.
Maybe his medicals and stuff, turned out to be, a bit better, or it had to have turned out to be in some kind of a, satisfying position for them to draft him. Maybe he found some, the kid was in college and all that, man. Maybe he found somebody, that can help him with, preventing these soft tissue issues, injuries and whatnot. Maybe when you get into, an NFL locker room, they would teach him better how to protect himself, man, from, taking big hits.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
We can read this comment and then we can go on to the next pick. Shout out to Randy Major. Said, "What's up, fellas? This dude is shifty and route running, reminisce that of Amari Cooper."
Yeah, they say he runs good routes.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Just gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, that is one of the things that they said was a pro about him. He runs very, very good routes. Now, who we got going on now, CB?
All right, we're in the second round. Saints turned around day 2, second round pick. Got Christian Miller, defensive tackle out of Georgia.
Man, look, before we start talking about this kid, let me say something, right? This kid right here, right? This man here. I enjoyed seeing him getting drafted. I don't know if you saw, when he got drafted. I don't know if you saw any of that footage.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you saw that, man. He was so excited and all that, bro. And this kid's from Georgia. His family and stuff is supposedly was Falcons fans until the day that he got drafted. I enjoyed that, man. I enjoyed every bit of it. I felt the passion in him. You know, they said that his game grades out very well. I see what they're trying to do too. I also see the vision that they're trying to do too on the defense as well. You know, everything's starting to come clear with him. And he falls right in line with the vision that Staley trying to have, for the defense this season. In other words, we're trying to make it impossible for you to run on us.
Right.
All that running on us and shit, man. He trying to stop that shit so that, once we stop that, then we can let Chase and others loose.
Right. And I'm going to read out some numbers for him in 2025. He started in all 14 games. He had 23 tackles, 10 solo tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and a sack and a half. And like you were just mentioning, he flourished off of, he was exceptional at stopping the run. As you guys know, as of late, in really the last couple of years, our defense has gotten soft in the middle, and running backs have been able to gash and dash up through our defense. What's supposed to be the beat of our defense, they're able to gash and dash up through there, and we're kind of towards the lower half of the league and stopping the run. So with the addition of this guy, he's young, he's hungry. You can, Chad, what with some of these guys, like you can tell, when somebody got that dog and that swag in them.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that with him. Just not by the video, because everybody gonna be lit and hype and stuff like that. But you can see it on the field. He played with swag. We need somebody in the interior that's going to make coordinators think where to run the football. So and that ain't nothing against Brian Brzee. Really Broughton, not Broughton, Godchall. Excuse me, Godchall. He really didn't impress me like I thought he would. I know he got 1 year remaining on his deal coming into this season, and he has a chance to be paired up with Broughton that we drafted last season. We didn't get to see him play, so we really wasn't Broughton drafted in the second round. We got him in the second too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we basically got 2 second rounders that can possibly be our future right there. And honestly, I want them to run Godchall out. And there ain't nothing against him, but I'm just saying at this point he's a veteran player. Godchall is. So yeah, let the young dudes. It's time to run the vets out.
Yeah, well, that's
start making your name.
From the free agent moves that they made, especially the moves that they made lately, they really sending a message to him. They definitely sending a message to him, because if this works out, we can have a young defensive line, with the likes of Brockton, Brzee, and then Christian Miller here.
Right.
So that's starting to look like a real possibility here. And the fact that he can stop the run so well, and that he committed to it. But they say that he has an upside to where he can also become, probably a good pass rusher too from that position. And that's what I'm hearing about him. So, and when you was talking about, got that dog in him and all that, right? You can hear that passion in his voice. When I believe every word when he said when he got drafted, and he told our GM, "You drafting a dog. You drafting a dog. You getting a dog." I believed every word in him. I can hear it all in his voice. You know. So yeah, that was a good pick, man. I liked it, that one. I gave the Jordan Tyson pick. I gave that to be honest with you, I gave that a B because just because of his injury history. But it's really more like more or less a B plus. You know. This pick here, I give this pick an A.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And like I said, it has nothing to do with the lack of Brizzy not doing what he supposed to do. He's been solid. Brizzy been playing solid. We picked up this his 5th year option.
Yeah.
Um, but did we? I mean, like as a run stopper, do we got possibly elite talent at that position? On the line. No, I hadn't seen it. Not elite. Um, and who knows? This guy could be. I know what. Like out of the defensive tackles, a lot of scouts had this guy in their top 3 defensive tackles coming out. So that's very high praise, coming from this kid. And
And
then
in
you got to think of
actuality,
who
right?
he was.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry, CB.
Oh no,
We
I was just gonna say, he was going up against the best of the best. I mean, the SEC, you playing dogs almost every weekend.
I just wanted to add that in actuality, when you look at it, because we're gonna talk about free agency, the Saints actually got 2 of the top defensive tackles that would have been drafted in this particular class. We'll talk about that though.
Facts. Yeah,
So
that's true. That's true, Ron. That's why, like I said, I ain't really I'm not really putting that on Brazil. Like the lack of his presence in the defensive tackle technique. I mean
yeah,
defensive
I think that
position.
that's probably where they gonna probably start lining up Brizzy at anyway. Probably as as an end. You know what I'm saying, in the 3-4. But he can also rush the passer. You understand? Brizzy do have pass rushing capabilities about himself. If y'all recall, just a couple of years ago, I think he may have led us in sacks. That one year. I think he had like 6 sacks or something like that. So
Yes.
he do have the ability to rush the passer. You know. And I seen what you said too about Christian Boyd. It's just that for whatever reason, every year I've been thinking that hey, look, he's gonna merge and maybe he's gonna, become a factor on the depth chart. But it seemed like he don't really have too much of a factor. He hasn't been too much of a factor, the last couple of years. And if they felt that strongly about him, they wouldn't have made some of the moves that they made at defensive tackle, which includes drafting Christian Miller.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
That's
So,
true.
so who's Who's up next, CB? Let's get it through. Because we're gonna talk more about these guys. We're gonna talk a whole lot about these guys in the future.
Right.
But I give this pick. I consider this pick an A pick. That's an A pick right here.
Yeah, same grades. Tyson B, just due to the risky part of the injuries, and then this guy A. So we go on to round 3. Round 3, the New Orleans Saints, they stay offense and they get tight end Oscar Depp, tight end out of Georgia. So they got a teammate of Christian Miller's, Oscar Depp, uptown. How you feeling about this pick?
I feel good about this pick. This pick lines up, man. What people don't realize is that this may have been one of the most important picks in this draft, CB. And I know you're surprised to hear me say that. Let me tell you why, right? This pick right here allows Kellen Moore to play 12 personnel whenever he wants to. You heard me?
Right.
Because this dude is a magnificent blocker as a tight end. And it's not like he have hands of stone. It was just that he was mostly required to block when he was in Georgia. Remember, this dude really came behind Brock Bowers.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? This dude can run routes. He's a do-it-all tight end. And he runs a 4-4. You see what I'm saying? This is, when we look back at this draft, we're going to say this pick is probably one of the most important picks, like I just said, that we made in the whole draft. This is the pick right here that allows Kellen Moore to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Right. If you look it up, right, in this league, it's most difficult to defend against 12 personnel. In case people don't know, that's 2 tight ends, that's 2 wide receivers, and a running back.
Correct. And I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna read a few numbers right quick on Oscar Delp. Oscar Delp, y'all know at the combine, I think the dude ran a 4.49. That's elite speed for a tight end. He had 20 receptions for 261 yards, 1 touchdown, averaging 13 yards per catch. I know you're gonna look at the receiving yards, be like, oh, only under 300 yards. I was listening to a lot of scouts that covered Georgia, and they said the style of offense that Georgia ran, they really didn't, include him in their pass offense like that. They really didn't utilize him like that because he was so exceptional at his blocking. So that's what they had him doing. So basically he was just playing his role. Now that didn't mean that he didn't have the capability of being, elite in the receiving game, because he is a dog. He can eat at receiver too. So we definitely is getting the dog at tight end. This guy definitely will be in the rotation. Foster Marnu is gone. We're not bringing Taysom back. That's I highly doubt. I ain't gonna say we're not, but I highly doubt we're bringing Taysom back. And honestly, I don't think we need. Taysom really didn't fit. He really didn't. He wasn't an asset like that. I don't know if it was the ACL or what, but I think it's just time to go in a different direction. That splash. If Sean them want to go get him, they can. But I think by now, Sean definitely would have been that got him. But that's a topic for another day. I'm just saying that to say that Oscar Delp will be playing a significant role in this offense. So he ain't gonna be playing behind or Taysom and Foster. It's Jawan Johnson and this guy.
And then remember, we signed 2 Noah Fant. So look, we can even do 11 personnel.
Yes.
You understand? We can have 3 tight ends with him, Jawan Johnson, and Noah Fant on the field at the same time. Man, Kellen, it would be lethal with Kellen. Lethal.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why I say that this pick was important. And by the way, right, when okay, y'all say okay, blocking, okay, well, tight ends, good tight ends, whatever, should be able to block. But no, this dude blocks at an elite level. At an elite level. Not just like, one of the mill, tight end blocking. I mean, he's something special when it comes down to that blocking. So, yeah. Now, you know what I give this pick, y'all? I give it a straight up A. Yes.
Yes, I get his pick a pick as well. Could just say it's also a future pick, man. Because I know Jawan's he's still playing at a you know he never did get to an elite level. I'm just saying he playing at a solid level. But he's starting to get up there in age. He's starting to. I think he's going to be 28 or 29. So 30 is getting around the corner. Who knows? When that time may come where he start declining. But with that being said, I mean he never was elite or on a Pro Bowl level as a tight end. This guy right here.
Yeah,
He could even be putting Jawan on notice in training camp.
Just say it, CB, because I say it for you. This dude has the ability to become an elite tight end.
Yes.
Yes. He has all the gifts and tools to become an elite tight end in the National Football League. There, I said it. It's just up to him and his work ethic and how we able to develop this player.
Right. Let's see.
So who's next?
Randy Major said I give it an A, and then he also said he got Kittle / Goddard comparisons.
Yeah, that's some good comparisons to have.
Yep. But we all know gotta go out and produce. That's it. But the thing is, no pressure is on him. You got Jawan and Noah Fant. So if the guy needs time to get in NFL, style of the speed and all that type of stuff, if he needs time to get it together, he can afford to, just due to you already having Jawan and then we signed Noah Fant.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so moving on. We're moving to the fourth round. The New Orleans Saints select Jeremiah Wright, guard out of Auburn.
Yeah.
How on that offensive line?
Let me say this about him, CB. He's another one, right? You've seen his reaction when he got drafted. He's very emotional. He's very happy. You understand? And I watch SEC football. He's nasty too. He's one of them nasty ones. One of those that want to block you and maybe even talk a little shit, after you do it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them type cats. And guess what, Who That Nation? Guess what? He plays on the right side. Bruh, Jeremiah Wright, man. If I hope his people listening to this or somebody, man, right? Go in and compete, man. You can take that motherfucker's job. You can take his job, bro.
You can.
Go in there and compete, bro. Go in there and compete, man. I heard that passion you had in your voice. You was so appreciative, man, that you was drafted and all that. You know what I'm saying? Alabama boy from Selma. Man, go take somebody's job.
And I'll just read a few numbers with Jeremiah Wright. Let's see, he started in all 12 games at right guard, recording 33 knockdown blocks and grading out at 90% or higher in 5 games. So he allowed 5 sacks, only 3 penalties, throughout this whole time, 2025 season. So, it's definitely some solid grades there. But like you said, Uptown, I mean, I seen a few clips, talking about is this a prove it year for Reeves? How can this be a prove it year for Reeves? He in the second year of his contract. It's no more prove it time. Like
Yeah,
you done clearly showed your hand that at best you was decent. I'm talking about at your best you was decent. And I'm talking about okay average. That was your best for the Saints. But I do think this guy has a chance to go in and possibly take. I'm not gonna say he's going to do it. 'Cause, I mean, you can't say that with none of the picks. But this guy, he can go in. He got the skill set to go in and challenge Ruiz for this spot. And then you gotta think we already got Salvadori, so he's gonna, develop. He got a year under his belt. He's gonna develop going into next year. So um Ruiz, I don't know. I don't forgot how his contract is set up or something like that. I think last year we couldn't afford to do anything with him. But I'm thinking this is the season that we can afford to move them, or
yep, we
I
will
doubt we
be.
can release them. I doubt we'll release them, but I know we can kind of play around with. I believe this is the year we can do that. But I know last year we couldn't, so we kind of stuck. But this year, I believe I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this is the year that we can kind of mess with his contract.
Yeah, after this season, this upcoming season, we should be able to have some room to get up off of him. You know this, man. When you know how we do at the end of the year to try and get a few dollars here, a few dollars there, right? We take and have certain people to restructure and all that stuff, right? You notice they didn't go to Ruiz and they didn't go to P1.
Right.
They want to be able to get up out of those contracts this season if those two players and stuff don't produce. In other words, them two on the hot seat.
And you know what? I didn't even really think of it like that. They didn't go to them too.
No, they didn't.
So yeah, good point. Great point on that.
I noticed, brother, they've been doing stuff a little different around here now. I don't know if it's the advent of him having, so much brain power in the front office. It look like maybe that's starting to pay off now, because they're not making stupid ass moves anymore. You understand? Because they could have very well went there and overpaid Cam and DeMario. They could have very well did that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they didn't do that. And they whatever this is that they offering Cam, man, they ain't coming up off from that. Whatever that is, they ain't coming up off from that CB. Because if they did, he would be signed now.
Yep. And
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And then, you notice, right? They've been bringing in all these other defensive ends and edge rushers and stuff. So I don't think, I think, Cam gonna have to take whatever they offering him, or go play somewhere else. That would be unfortunate to see, but it is what it is. But getting back to this kid here, right? Even if he does not, beat Caesar out this season, I think that this kid is going to be one of the cornerstones of our offensive line. There's some things that he do need to clean up, because I would have liked those those sack numbers to be down a little bit lower. But what people don't know about this kid is that when this kid came to Auburn, he came there playing defensive tackle, and he switched from defensive tackle and became an offensive lineman. And it says a lot, to his acumen and to how smart he is, that he was able to pick up this position, the offensive lineman position, to the point that he was drafted in the 4th round.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So that's a plus to have. You know what I'm saying? This kid is I give this particular pick here. I'm gonna give this a B.
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it I give it a B plus, and that's just and that has more to do with Caesar. I'm just hoping that this guy can step in. That's just coming off of me just hoping this guy steps in and can really challenge Ruiz to where headlines are coming out that you know that position is up for grabs during training camp.
The only reason why I don't give it a much higher grade is because we want to see if he can deal with, pass rushes, on the NFL level. Because, like giving up 5 sacks, just playing right guard, that is a bit higher. And he does grade out better as a run blocker, too as well. And let me tell you something else about this kid, man. What's so ironic about him, though, right, is that all of his measurables, right? And look, who that nation, when I say this, right, even including UCB, I'm not trying to jinx the kid or nothing like that or whatever. Just listen to what I'm saying. Just hear me out, right? All his measurables is really almost similar to Trevor Penning.
Oh
You
no!
understand? But can he take? I think that he has the ability to take the next step more so than Trevor Penning, because remember, he came to Auburn playing defensive tackle.
Right.
Then he made it on the offensive line, and he made it to be good enough to be drafted in the 4th round of the draft, which shows that he's smarter. That he plays with is more than just his physical attributes that he plays with when he's out there on the football field. And that's what I think Trevor lacked. Because they say he's nasty like Trevor. He's been known to, to block after, to go after the whistle and all that kind of stuff. I like to have that kind of we need to have that kind of an offensive lineman on our line. We got to have that dog that's going to, do stuff like that or have people scared like that. I like it. I love it, as a matter of fact.
Right.
You understand? So that's the reason why, that's the only reason why he got a B from me right here, CB, because, I like to see if he can improve, as a pass blocker on the next level. And, perhaps we have the coaches that can develop him, so that he can. So who's the next one? Who we got next?
Okay, so we move on to later on in the 4th round. We have a compensatory pick because we acquired. I think this is the pick that we acquired from the Shaheed trade. So later on in the 4th round, the New Orleans Saints acquired Bryce Lance, wide receiver out of Dakota State. This is interesting. Interesting pick right here for me.
Oh yes, it was. Oh yes, it was. Oh yes, it is. I meant to say. Oh, wee, this is interesting. But y'all know, right? If y'all don't know, this is Trey Lance's little brother. The guy that
Yes.
went third overall to the San Francisco 49ers a few years ago. Ooh, I like this pick here. Ooh,
So I'm
they say he run like a 4.3 or something like that on CB. What they say about him?
yeah, he ran a
I,
4.
I, I know he is fast.
Yes. Was it a 4.3, 4.38 or 4.39? I think it was a 4.39.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read out a few of his numbers from the 2025 season. He recorded 51 receptions for 1,079 receiving yards, 8 TDs in 13 games. He averaged 21.2 yards per reception and 83 yards per game. He was first team FCS All-American. Now, I want to put this out there because once we drafted this guy, I'm like, well, dang. I mean, I know the fourth round is mid. It's mid round, and then I'm also looking at our roster. We got Jalen Polk and Trey Palmer and
Boy, we got some some very,
yes,
very fast young men in that locker room playing wide receiver for the Saints now.
right. So
Very,
I
very
was like, well, let me do some more scout because I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect us to take him, and I really didn't do no scouting on this guy before the draft. But I knew Trey Lance brother had a brother that was pretty good. So I looked him up. Now first you got to look at the school he played for. That is a lot of the question marks. Well, this is North Dakota State. He wasn't playing against no Georgias or LSU, the big dogs where you getting, lottery pick corners. He didn't get to go up against the Delaney's and the guy out of Tennessee and, these top guys in the country. He was going up against, some lower class guys. Now, does that determine a player's whole story just because of that? Absolutely not. Because we got guys like he, for an example, he didn't play for no LSU or Georgia or nothing like that. He played for a lower school. I forgot the name of it, but he wasn't in no big time school. We drafted him undrafted. You will see what the guy brought to us. We done had other guys undrafted, so it really doesn't matter really what school you play at.
Yeah,
if you really like that, you like that. This guy's 6'3". He's 6'3", a little over 200 pounds, running a 4.39. So he got height, he got size. And if you look at how he's running this route, he can run the route tree particularly well. But the question mark is, the type of talent can he get off the press was the thing that stood out. So we will see how this plays out. But definitely got some potential. The potential is there.
Let me tell you something, man. With this dude, right? When you was talking about, talents and stuff, right? Remember, I think Lance Moore came from like Troy State. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that ain't no big, no big school either. And we saw the kind of production that we got from a receiver like Lance Moore. You know what I'm saying? And I say that we can get the same kind of production from him as well. And like if Kellen Moore can scheme up things that allow him to utilize those talents, never discount that either.
Right.
Because that it's a scheme too that if you can scheme up stuff, you can very well scheme, to get him open. And that's what Kellen Moore is known to do in his offense. You work stuff off from, one player gets open off from what this player does, and vice versa, And this is a very, very good pick, man. Man, I tell you one thing, man, like, not only do we now have very fast wide receivers, these dudes is big too. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" and stuff like that, man. I'm like I told you, I'm seeing the vision. There's a very clear vision of what this football team is trying to do. I see it on both sides of the ball now. For once, right, and we've been talking about this for years, DB, we starting to formulate an identity.
Yes. And Kellen want track stars out there.
Yeah, you want track
Just
stars.
reminded me of the Chiefs, man. You know, with the Chiefs, every receiver, it can be a no-name receiver they bring in. This guy running like a track star out there.
But he also wants them big and physical enough where they can block if they need to.
Right.
So who's the next one? This pick here, by the way, right? I give this pick here an A. Yeah.
Yes, I
round pick, but yeah, I give this an A.
I give it an A just based off of the potential that this brings. Like, if I'm just saying, if this guy can like turn up, it could possibly be a Tyson and Lance duo. I mean, I ain't trying to push nobody out or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, if everybody come in hitting on all cylinders and just say that, Olave does it, I am shocked that, we is getting, but in this type of draft, you got to go with best player available, and I'm pretty sure this is where they was going with it. I don't think it's trying to send nobody no message or nothing, but I'm just saying we see that the skill set is definitely there. Hopefully, things can play out for him, because we need all the depth at receiver. We need it, so we'll see how this plays out.
I think it too. In conclusion on him, I think this was also their way of finally replacing Rashid Shaheed.
Yes. Agree. So we move on to the next round. In the next pick that's coming to the black and gold, that put on the black and gold, is Lorenzo Styles, safety out of the Ohio State.
It wasn't going to be a draft unless we drafted somebody from Ohio State. Yeah.
Caleb Downs' teammate uptown.
Yeah, but I like this player. I do. He's another burner. I think he ran a 4.4, but I know you got his measurables and stuff, so I'm gonna let you read those off, and we'll get into him.
Now I'm seeing right here. I don't know how this is accurate. It said Lorenzo Styles was noted for his speed, running a 4.27 40 at the combine.
Yes, that boy's fast.
Woo!
Yeah, that boy's fast. He could be a possibility, to play that jack position.
Yes.
It's a possibility. He's somebody that they may want to consider, or even if he don't play it now, somebody that can play it for us in the future.
Boy, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. We still got 2 picks left, but man, I'm loving the picks. I'm talking about just dating back to last year's draft all the way to now. Like I love the name.
Because the picks is making sense.
Yes,
I
but just
can see a world where he can have a prominent, role on our defense, this season. And I can also see with him where he can probably eventually become a starter or something.
let's not forget about Justin Reed. And I say that I'm saying that let's not forget about him. Far as yeah, he got a 4-year deal with us, but I mean, like he can easily get ran up out of here.
Yeah,
Cause I mean, this first season, he definitely didn't show anything that like we should be, hoping that he about to or going into the season confident about this guy. He showed me absolutely nothing last year, nothing.
I think from what I heard, is that he provided some good leadership, to the young secondary guys, with us playing, Kool-Aid and Quincy Riley and Jonas Sankir. You know what I'm saying? In the secondary. And they say that's something that they found to be invaluable. That's what don't shoot the messenger here, okay? Don't shoot the messenger here, CB. That's what I was told, that he provided invaluable leadership to the young secondary. Now, he could very well go in there too, right? Just like anybody else, man, on this football team. One of these little young dudes can go in there and take your job. If Styles, if you that dude, you make it. Even if you don't get the job, you make them stay up all night pondering whether they should allow you to start or not.
Yes.
You make it really, really hard on them. You understand? You and your brother got drafted. You gotta show him. That you can be as valuable as he gonna be to his team. Yeah, and I agree with what you say, Hurricane Mike. He's versatile, and maybe that versatility is what lands him that jack position that Alante Taylor just vacated. I was hearing that the Saints said that they prefer to have a safety play that position, and he's a safety with the speed that he have. Maybe he might need to brush up on some of his, the defense techniques and stuff like that, or whatever, or whatever, a little bit, right? He should be able to, stick with a slot receiver if he has to sometimes.
Right.
But that remains to be seen. But I don't even know if what the vision, if Staley would even, even if it is that close like that, or if the kid is just looking better than him, would Staley, still, let him play. You don't know. Some coaches don't feel that way, but he probably would, man, because considering he was in the same position but that was really by injury, but when Jonas Sankir came in and had a heck of a season after Blackman got injured. So he probably would. I don't play past him or whatever, but that was more out of that his hand was forced on that, really, to a certain extent last season. This season and stuff, Reed and stuff, if he's not injured or nothing like that, but he got pressed. I don't know what he would do,
Right.
But in conclusion, on this player, I give this a B. You know.
I I give I give this an A, and the reason I give it an A is because we is lacking the slot position. You bringing up some good points that I just really didn't look at. You know, when it come to when you got a nickel, unless you a guy. If you look at Chauncey, yes, he had some good speed, but he didn't have no elite speed to where he could just run with the best of them. He thrived off his physicality,
Yeah,
so
he
he was
did.
able to jam up these guys in the slot. Not saying that Lorenzo can't do that, but he does have the speed to be able to stay with these guys. The little slot guys, he got the speed to stay with them. Now he gotta come out and it's not gonna try to put pressure on him or not like that, because you got vets there that can step up in the role if guys need time. But with this 4-2 speed, high 4-2 speed, we gotta utilize this in some way. And I'm hoping that this guy is ready to come in and be ready to eat at wherever they have him playing at.
Mm-hmm. You should know, man. They should be aware of there's a spot open, you know, there at that jack position. You should go after it. If he's that man, you feel like you that man, you go get it. You go get it, Styles.
Yeah.
You know. So who's next? Who we got on here next?
So the next guy, we in the 6th round, and they bring in Barium Brown,
Oh yeah.
receiver out of LSU.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Uptown.
Yeah. I love this pick. I love this pick. Everybody knows, man, you know, ain't no secret. Everybody know I'm an LSU fan. But I love this pick because of what they're gonna do with him. You understand? This dude here is gonna y'all looking at this is probably gonna be our kick returner for probably the next, 4 or 5 years, to come. He was an elite kick returner in college. I think he scored like 6, touchdowns, doing it. And I've seen a few of them myself, with him playing for LSU. And he also has the ability to play wide receiver. But I think they identified that they don't really, maybe they may have some packages or something for him, every now and then. If Kelly want to get, if you want to go get deep down into his playbook or something, or you want to get fancy. But like, this dude is specifically brought in to be our kick returner, and I love every bit of it. You understand? Because he's fearless at that, which is what you need. You expect himself to be into the end zone. You know what I'm saying? And like that also, that I tell y'all again, right? There's a clear vision of what I see this team is becoming now. Our special teams was horrible last season. You notice we went out there in free agency and we signed a punter and paid him money. Although
Yes.
Charlie Smith has the job, they still brought in another kicker to compete with him so that he won't get lazy and all on his loins. A lot of these players that we drafted, like Styles and some of the later picks and stuff, right, were also picked because they are going to contribute on special teams. So they looking to, at least I can give them effort. The front office, I can give them effort. Credit for having some effort to take and try and address all areas of the team this offseason. I love this pick. And in conclusion, right, if he don't really line up much as a wide receiver, never, whatever field position that we get from Barry and Brown is going to be well appreciated. You understand? That's the kind of stuff that helps you win football games. See? So I give this pick here, I give this pick an A.
Yes, I'll also give the pick an A. And just like you said, I mean, when I'm looking at, we in the 6th round, and just a little scouting that I done on this guy, return abilities was brought up by many scouts. Well, if you think about it, we no longer have Shaheed. So yes, we need a person that's capable of possibly being a good returner for us. We threw guys in there like Pettis had a few, and then Tipton had a few, but
Kendrick Miller.
they not. I don't think they were showing elite abilities yet. I didn't see it, and maybe it may come. I don't know. We'll see. But like Uptown said, they is addressing.
Let me say this too, right about it, man. Like, you know, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, because then we can move on. This guy was an elite kick returner in college. Elite. And that should tell you all that you need to know right there.
Yes, and he ran a 4.4 at the combine. So
yeah, he added that track meet that we got in the wide receiver.
Yes. So we'll see what happens with this pick, but I'm not expecting him to be, you know, thrown out of a receiver. He can. I mean, the numbers, you know, had over 500 yards, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, so we're gonna go to our last pick of the draft. The New Orleans Saints in the 7th round selected T.J. Hall, defensive back. Uptown, what you see out of this pick? Where you think their minds was with this late pick? Really, at this point, it's just best player available, in my opinion.
I think that this dude, right? You know, they said that he was a hard worker. They say the only thing that really that messed his draft stock up was that they say he was kind of slow. He ran a 4.5, 4.6 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, as a cornerback, and that's what dropped his draft status. But you know, all the other intangibles they say that he had. You know, when I was, you know, scouting them, they didn't talk about how receivers and stuff, you know, was getting past him and all that, you know, because sometimes guys like that can have a certain technique, you know. And if I'm not mistaken, I think, that's what they said too about him. The defense that they played in was more of that zone type defense, like Brandon Staley was, you know, where really the cornerbacks is kind of looking right into the backfield, you know, and they playing a zone. So the defense that he came from, it wasn't really a man-to-man type defense, you know. So he might fit in some type of way, you know, with us. But I know that mainly what they're going to need him to do, and he should be a contributing factor on special teams. That he can do. Get down there and tackle some people, man.
Right.
You know,
I see he got a strong run stopping grade. You know, as a defensive back, his run defense grade was an 84.4.
Yeah, he's a for sure tackler.
Yeah, so
he can probably convert over to, you know, to safety. You know, who knows? They maybe still they drafting him so he can try him out at the jack too.
That's a fact.
Who knows? You know, we know that position is important to his defense, and somebody gonna have to, play that position. We know that much. So we'll see how this works out. I give this I also give this player a B. I give him a B. Even though he didn't grade out well as far as like quote unquote speed. But he had all the other intangibles, which includes, his high rate, being able to stop the run, playing, the cornerback position. That's impressive. So I give this a B too.
Right, and I give it a B minus, and the B minus just due to his slow 40 time. But as you know, even with a 40 time, that really doesn't. That and game speed, it can go hand to hand, and it's in some instances it doesn't go hand in hand with certain people. Just like Shaheed, his 40 time, he didn't run no 4.2 nothing. I think he ran a 4.4, a 4.4 40.
Yeah.
His combine, but on the field, what he looking like? I mean, he looking, can't nobody catch him out there. So, game speed, it can be different from a 40 and with some people, and then with some people, that 40 time can show on the field. So, if you running 4.4 or better, that's some game changing speed. But in the case with this guy, like I said, he's excelling. He was excellent, was graded well at stopping the run. So he could possibly convert that to, special teams.
Yeah, because that's where he's gonna really be needed the most. At least this season. But who knows, man? Hey, like I just said, when I said with style, there's a position out there, man. That jack position is wide open. You understand? Go in there and compete, man. Go and compete. Make yourself known. Go take that. Go take it. So I think that was it, right? Huh? Is that it?
Yeah, that concludes the Saints draft. Rounds 1 through 7. They did draft some undrafted free agents. We can get to that in the next show. We were going to talk about the additions that they made, like the Tyree Wilson, the other guys, but we're just gonna make another separate show for that. And we add the undrafted free agents in there since we didn't get to them.
And then on that next show too, man, we're going to take we'll take the calls and all that kind of stuff too.
Right.
And because I really want to I want to hear from people like JT and Hurricane Mike and all that. We're gonna make a commitment, man, to try and come back on a lot sooner than a week or something, man. I guess whenever our schedules will line up, the very next time our schedules line up, we're gonna do that show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So be looking forward to it sometime this week, midweek.
And J Live, come through, bro. J Live, make sure you come back through, bro.
Oh yeah, most definitely, fam. J Live, it definitely been a minute, man. I'll be seeing you.
When we open up the lines again, man, I want to hear from you, J Live.
Yes.
You heard me? You did.
Hotel, you got any final thoughts, fam, before we wrap the show up?
So in conclusion, in the whole conclusion of the draft, I give the draft I'm gonna say an A-. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I give it, an A-.
Yes.
You know, because the only reason why it get a minus because of course you're gonna have, you know, all players and stuff got some type of questions and stuff, you know, about their abilities. They all got pros and cons, you know, about the abilities and what they can do. You know, but the fact that the player that we took 8th overall, you know, just have those little injury concerns, you know, is what makes me give it an A minus. You know what I'm saying? Because if people were sticking around, you know, both you and I gave that pick a B. You understand? And the only reason why we gave it a B is because of those injury concerns. But, you know, the rest of the draft balanced it out, which draw the whole overall grade, you know, up to like A minus. You know, because I can see defined roles, you know, for these players and what they are trying to do, what they are trying to accomplish. And if Saints fans, I don't know if y'all see it, you know, CB, I don't know if you see it, but we're starting to get an identity. We're starting to see an identity being formulated for this team finally.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's been years, but we didn't know what kind of team that the Saints was. We apparently want to be a team that can stop the run, and just drafting Christian Miller ain't the proof of that. And when we talk about the free agents, we'll get deep into that. They look like a team that want to stop the run and a team that want to run it on you. And a team that want to be versatile whenever they go out on offense. They want to play 12-man personnel, 12 personnel, and keep defenses guessing. And I like every bit of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you win games. Players just like to react. You don't like to think a lot. That is a personnel group that requires a lot of thinking, a lot of strategizing, and it can be very, very stressful on the defense. You know what I'm saying? So I give it an A minus, and I guess that's it. You know, that's all I have to say right now. CB.
All right, well, appreciate y'all, Who That Nation, for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, man. We went by with every pick, broke it down, our thoughts and opinions on the pick, and other things that happened throughout the draft, like the person we got in the trade and all of that stuff. We're going to talk about the free agent additions, along with that Tyree Wilson trade. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about getting the Ole Miss defensive tackle. Just the other things that happened besides the draft. We're going to talk about that this week sometime. So just be on the lookout for that. Who That Nation? You heard Uptown, man. We just had another incredible draft, in my opinion. If these guys can stay healthy, this can be another fantastic draft class. And salute to the coaching staff, man, for one heck of a draft. But please like, subscribe, follow the page, Who That Nation. And you know what this is. This is the WDN Chatline podcast. And we out. Who that?
Who that, baby? Oh, yeah. For life. Damn good show.